I think maybe before I start, I just want to say thank you to all of you. It is very touching, despite the rain, that you guys are staying behind. And apart from that, I think that we need to say thanks to all our volunteers as well. Without them, there will be nothing here. And they have dedicated their time, their effort, their money to help us to do this. I'm deeply touched and proud to be part of this.
We are here for you.
Thank you. For our Malay friends, Selamat Malam. Saya Tony Tan adalah calon bagi Choa Chu Kang GRC. Terima kasih kerana dapat hadir pada rally malam ini.
So sorry we are late. There was a terrible jam at the PIE all the way through to BKE. So yeah, I'll be speaking later, but I'm sorry to interrupt Tony. Do let him continue. Thank you.
We can wait. Don't worry, we can wait.
Okay, I'll continue. Pilihan raya kali ini adalah untuk membawa suara anda ke dalam parlimen. Ondola untuk diri anda. Ondola NSP. For our Indian friends. Vanakkam. Yen Peer Tony Tan. Nan Choa Chu Kang GRC Togo Deal Neo Kirin. Onga Ada Reveal Yenga Legal Deva. Nandre. Ninh Hằng Hồ. 我的名叫阿添。其实这个大选，我若骂政府是无用的。我若要想办法，让政府过。因人做物件是对面顶看落来，有时看无。我人知影问题。 爱讲出来，支持国民团结党。伫国会内面，我人会替你人讲出来。投票是秘密的，也是有人甲你讲，政府会知，我人会使抓伊去报马达。 我哪会老讲投票是秘密的？票定要有 number， 还是无 number， 是惊有人会假票。所以投票定是秘密的。希望你支持我人，投我人一票，感谢你。 Dear Singaporeans, I'm truly happy to be here. This has been a very long journey for us. It is a very rewarding one. For me, I've shaken many hands, but what I really remember are the issues that you bring up. The issues that keep us walking. We've been walking on the ground 7 days a week. I think there's only one day that we take a short break.
You never walk alone.
Thank you. And I want to apologize for not being able to personally visit you. We have been receiving calls. They said they didn't see us. I have to assure you, if I got 4 legs, 10 legs, or there are 10 of me, 10 RTM, I will come and I will walk. I will walk till I collapse. I'll still be there to talk to you. All I ask of you is to give me a bit more time. We will continue walking, regardless the outcome. Let's get back to what this election is about. This election is about how we can come together to participate in a journey about where should we bring this country to. We all want the same thing. A better future for ourselves and for our children. A nation who looks after us and our children. The government has a vision to make Singapore into a world-class city so that Singaporeans can look forward to a Swiss standard of living. But has this promise been delivered? Instead, the vision we're now living in is a two Singapore.
Yes, correct.
An exclusive Singapore for the rich and talented, making millions, and the other for the ordinary Singaporeans, working harder, working longer hours, and struggling to cope with the rising cost of living with little savings. Many are concerned about our future. I share that. But more importantly, I would like to highlight 3 issues that affect the future of our country. And everybody needs to listen and understand that. First, the rise of China and India and neighboring countries. Many are going bilingual and emphasizing on technologies. They will catch up. All they need is just 1 or 2% of their populations to excel. At our level, they would have the human capital to compete. With their lower cost of living and infrastructure, they would definitely be cheaper. Be mindful that we now have the most expensive land, most expensive manpower, and probably the most expensive electricity in this region. We need to think about how to compete. Issue number 2. The performance indicator of this government is narrow. Only one factor, GDP growth. What makes this a vicious cycle is that their bonuses are pegged to GDP growth.
Yeah.
Apart from this factor, I think the questions to ask is what about the quality of lives of ordinary Singaporeans, like affordable housing, good transport, good education? And what about the need for us to help our weaker members of our society? Why aren't they part of the performance measure? A government that focuses on GDP growth is distracted from dealing with long-term challenges like aging population and low fertility rate. Finally, the last issue, which is the most crucial of all, is that a two Singapore is taking shape. Internally, the leaders and the ordinary Singaporeans are not united by a shared vision. When we gain independence, we all have a shared vision. Our vision is that despite being small, we will make it. And we have. And in fact, we excel. The reason is simple. Because even my mom, who's not really educated, she understands the need for national service when my brother has to go for enlistment. Because we all have a shared vision. Because of this shared vision, I managed to have a great education, a great life, a great wife, a great family, and now in great companionship with so many Singaporeans. I think it's my responsibility. It is my responsibility to say what is right. Our leadership sees GDP growth as the answer. The ordinary Singaporeans do not. We have to tell them that. Concerns of Singaporeans are simple. We just need good quality of life and a low cost or manageable cost of living. Further to these differences, what that stands in between the ordinary Singaporeans and our leaders are their million-dollar paychecks. As a Singaporean, it is a very sad day for me or for us when the only way voters can communicate their disapproval to our leaders is during general election when they boo at their vans. It is a sad day for us when the voice of the poor and those marginalized have to be through us during our walkabouts. It is a sad day for us when the middle income is squeezed, middle class is squeezed. Although they work very hard, they can marginally improve their quality of lives. The cost of living has affected their saving, and the high price of housing is now beyond their reach. Letting these three issues run for another 5 years is no longer an option. We need change. Whether you are a PAP supporter, if you are here, it's fine. Listen to this. Or whether you are NSP supporter or opposition supporter, we are all Singaporeans. You know what happened. There is the leaders and the rest of the other people do not work together. Nothing is going to move in the right direction. This cannot continue. And everyone in this country have to listen to this, including the PAP candidates. There are three things we as Singaporeans have to get it right. It's not just the government. If they don't get it right, we have to exert pressure to ask them to get it right.
Yes, correct.
Number one, change the performance indicator of the government. Cannot be just GDP growth. Change it. Let's have three major factors. Economic benefits of Singaporeans. That could be the part of medium wage. We could debate about GDP growth per capita to be added. But we need to measure that as one of the major factors. The second factor, quality of life. We need to think about new transport index. Is the quality good enough? Is housing affordable? And the third factor, social mobility. We need to make sure that this continue. Weaker members continue to be beneficial of the system, they benefit from it, so that if one day they succeed, they will give back. They will continue to give back and help more other people. So these three factors has to be the performance measures of our country, of our government. Number two, form an independent committee to decide on the salaries of our political office holders. The deling them from the civil service. Politicians, sorry, whether you like it or not, I will say this, politicians should be paid less. I am here because I want to serve. Civil servants should be paid more, as they are the ones that make things happen. They are the protector of our country. They make things tick. Number 3, and last but not least, the most important of all, we need a shared vision, again, to bind all of us. Not just some, every one of us must feel excited by the vision. Do we have an alternative vision? Yes, an inclusive society. This vision for Singapore is not coined by me, it's not new. It was a vision already laid down by the actions of our fathers and our grandfathers. I benefited from this system. What policies we need to put in place is not new either. In the early years, our HDB policies was meant to provide a roof for all Singaporeans, rich or poor. Our manpower policy was meant to provide good paying jobs for all Singaporeans, educated or not.
Yes, correct.
Government fees and charges are kept as low as possible. Because life was tough. There's no GST. Education is affordable for all and provide the best means for enhancing social mobility. Our policies are for our people. For our people. For our people. It is a people-first policy. The vision built by our fathers and grandfathers is one where the power is in the hand of the ordinary citizens. They believe that policies should be about benefiting the ordinary Singaporeans. They believe in developing the masses and unleashing the various potentials of all Singaporeans instead of just focusing on a specific group. That is how we created social mobility for the poor and the uneducated, and how we created wealth for our middle class. We believe Singapore is our home, where all jobs are equally important, no matter how high or low they may be within the structure. The escape of Mas Selamat and the SMRT vandalizing incident are stark reminders that good officers on the ground are as important as planners and thinkers. We believe in increasing the salaries of the ordinary Singaporeans to ensure that the doers and those making things happen are given the due recognition.
Yes, correct.
Bear with me, fellas. I'm trying to make sure I spread the pages. Thank you. Thanks. We believe Singapore is our country where doers like teachers, nurses, police officers, security officers, SAS soldiers, IT specialists, designers, engineers, researchers, salesmen, cleaners, service staff, every Singaporeans who work hard and did a good job are given as much respect as planners and thinkers, because an inclusive society, we ensure that we breed a strong workforce who are motivated and proud of their roles, productive and committed to build a strong nation. Vote for change to focus on the ordinary Singaporeans. Vote to change the performance measure of the country, of the government. Vote to change the salaries of all politicians. Vote for an inclusive society. A chapter not new, started by our fathers and grandfathers. A chapter written by ordinary Singaporeans for Singaporeans. A chapter for our children and their children. Our chapter titled Inclusive Society.各位大家好，我是李天，蔡厝港候选人。我们现在的社会是相当不平衡，对不起，政府的政策太过讲求经济效率，什么事情都用经济利益来计算。
Yes, correct.
例如有外劳问题，那就收外劳费。他们有没有想过，是谁在几年前允许这样多外劳进来我国？
Yes, correct.
从2007到2008，我们的人口总数竟然增加了25万，这使巴士与地铁非常拥挤。只有在2010年2年过后，政府才承认这是个问题。这个才是真正的问题。为什么事先没想好？第二个例子，调高 ERP 收费与增加 ERP 闸门，他们有没有想过是谁在几年前批准这样多用车证？在2005到2009年，汽车总数增加38%，马路却增加4%。是谁使我们的马路拥挤？而且为什么 CTE 在晚上也要有 ERP？ 在忙碌当中忘记放 ERP 卡，还要被罚款，这样合理吗？第三个例子 ，CPF。就因为有些老人把拿出来的 CPF 用光，就要把可提出 CPF 的年龄延迟，那未免一支竹竿打翻整条船。再加上生活费一直提高，退休人士怎么样过日子？从这三个例子，我们应该了解。政府的政策是隐形的手，深深的影响到人民的生活。国会批准政策时要慎重考虑，也必须考虑到人民的困难，不然实行政策时会给人民带来许多问题，这会让人民以为政府不关心人民。我本人觉得。不是政府不关心，而是政府不了解。 这些问题是因为政府的政策是往上而看下来，政府的政策忽略了人民的看法与想法，那就是往下而看上去的考量，所以我们的社会才无法取得平衡。所以国民团结党希望能在国会里代表人民、代表民生，让我们的社会取得平衡，让新加坡成为一个以人为本、以家为先、以国为主的强国，让新加坡人对自己的国家感到骄傲、感到自豪。谢谢你们，谢谢。